Goodreads recently posted a list with their most read books for the Goodreads Reading Challenge 2024, aka the most read books on Goodreads so far this year, and I have read some of them. A good amount of books actually I already read, but there is also another significant amount of books in the list that I haven't read yet, but I do want to read them, and I actually already have them on my TBR. So in today's video, we will be reading together 3 books on the list that are on my TBR, and then we can judge whether or not they are worth the hype. So the 3 books on my TBR for this video are: first, it is Happy Place by Emily Henry. This is a book that has been on my TBR for quite some time now, and I have been really wanting to read this book ever since it came out, but for some reason I just keep putting it off. I think it's because it is Emily Henry and I have a feeling I will really enjoy it, and I just keep putting it off. So let's finally give Happy Place a chance. The second book on TBR is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. This is apparently a selection of short stories or a compilation of short stories that takes place in this magical cafe where people can go and talk with people that have already died, but they can only talk until the coffee gets cold. And I'm very curious about this book. But the third book on the TBR for this video is one that has been on my physical TBR for over a year. I'm kind of already out of this duology because it's been over a year since I read the first book. This just wasn't a book that I was really wanting to read. I was just curious about, and then I keep seeing people comment and say negative things about this author and her books, and the motivation to read this book ends up being not the strongest, but I'm curious about it, and it is on my TBR and I want to read it, and finally put it with the first book in this duology, and It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. Apparently, I think this is kind of a romance, a rom-com. It is not more general romance or general fiction as It Ends With Us. I think this is a happier book than It Ends With Us, and I'm just curious, and I didn't hate It Ends With Us, so I hope I will like this one. Honestly, I don't have that many high expectations, but I have a feeling I won't give this book a low rating because I just didn't hate the first one, and I'm just not a hater. At the core, I'm not a hater when it comes to books. I tend to give more mild ratings to books and enjoy them. So I will finally be reading It Ends With Us. This is a book that's been again on my TBR for over a year, and I really want to read it for that reason. And let's get to the reading portion of this vlog. Hi! So I'm 9 chapters in Happy Place, and I'm really enjoying it. This is a book that I didn't want to put down when I started reading, and I still don't want to put down. It is just having a lot of fun. I forgot how amazing Emily Henry's writing is. I just really enjoyed it. So Happy Place, we follow Harriet and Wynne. They are former fiancés, but they broke up around a year ago, but they still haven't told their friends. And now they were invited to this vacation with their friends, and they basically don't want to tell them right now because they have reasons. First of all is that every summer they spend 1 week in their friend's beach house, but this year it turns out it is the last time they can go on a vacation to this house because they are selling the house. So that's reason number 1. They don't want to ruin this last vacation in this very special spot for the friend group. The second reason is because 2 of their friends who are together, they announced they are getting married at the end of the week, and it is a wedding that you have only them in attendance. There is only 4 guests, and Harriet and Wynne are 2 of them. So they don't want to ruin the wedding of their best friends. They also don't want to make this week all about them. So instead of telling the friend group that they actually broke up, they decide to fake date and pretend they're still engaged for the rest of the week, and then afterwards they will tell them they broke up. We still don't know why they decided to part ways. So far, My theory is that it has something to do with the fact that right now they have been long distance for 2 years out of the 10 years of their relationship. I want to go back to this book, continue enjoying it, and figure out all the questions I have about it. And because I can't put this book down. I'm really enjoying it, which is amazing, but also I just want to read this book, which is kind of problematic because I have other things to do, but I want to go back to the book. I finished reading Happy Place and I gave this book 5 stars. I just loved it so much. It's just so cute, just so perfect. I love that now I know exactly which character is which from this cover. And was the main trope of this book miscommunication? Yes, but this time I didn't hate it. I liked it. I liked everything about this book. Were the characters frustrating? Yes, but I didn't mind that. And I even highlighted some passages of this book. And you know I like a book when I start highlighting because it's very rare for me to highlight a book, a fiction book especially. So yes, Happy Place, 5 stars. It is definitely worth the hype, all the hype it gets. I am 100 pages in. It ends with us, not it ends with us, it starts with us, and so far it is fine. I'm going to say I think the writing in the previous book, in It Ends With Us, was a little bit better. In this one, I feel like the way it is written, there is a lot of Atlas did this, Lily did this, Lily said this, and there's also a lot of repetition of words, especially of their names, and I think if she were a synonym instead of just saying Lily did this, Lily said this, Lily something, Lily another thing, the writing could have flown a little bit better, but it is fine. I understand why people will love this book. It is really easy to read, it is really fast. I was taking around a minute to read one page of this book, and I managed to finish until page 106 in one sitting. So it is easy, it is fast. Another thing about this book that called my attention is that I feel like there is a lot of recap, which I don't think it is needed because this is a sequel, and this is the kind of sequel where for you to fully understand this book, you need to read the first book. Because also the first book is the main story, this is just the fluff that she's gifting us, that she's gifting the fans or the people that like the previous book. So I don't think we needed that much recap of the plot of It Ends With Us in this one. I do understand some of the recap because this book came out a little bit after It Ends With Us, and probably a lot of people that first picked this book up and that was waiting in line and doing the pre-orders of this book were massive fans of It Ends With Us, that read It Ends With Us maybe months or even years before this book came out. So I understand a little bit of recap, but I don't think we needed that much recap because if you are reading this book, you probably most likely already read It Ends With Us, and even if you forgot some plot points, if you read the first book, you would have gotten it just from the context clues. But overall, this book's just, it's fine. Are the characters a little bit cringy? Yes, but this is kind of their personality, and it's fine. Also, please ignore my hair. It is hair wash day, so my hair is not looking the best. But I'll finish reading this book and then I'll come with you with my final review. Hello, so I finished reading It Starts With Us and I ended up giving this book 3 stars because it was fine. There wasn't anything that made this book stand out to me. We didn't need a new chapter to the story from It Ends With Us, but it is still fun and cute to see these characters again and see them become happy and in better situations. And if you liked It Starts With Us, it's okay. It's kind of, I wouldn't say it's worth the hype, but if you liked It Starts With Us, it makes sense why you would want to read this one. Personally, it's fine. I don't see myself rereading this book anytime soon, but I'm not mad that I read it, so It Starts With Us, I gave it 3 stars. And I kind of understand the hype behind this one just because the first one is such a popular book. I understand why people would continue. As a person that likes finishing series, like, I'm not mad. I finished the series and it was cute, 3 stars. So I'm midway through the 3rd chapter from When the Coffee Gets Cold, so I feel like I can give you a bit more of an explanation and tell you what this book is about. So Before the Coffee Gets Cold, it is a selection of 4 short stories that follow different characters as they go into this magical cafe. All the stories, they have the common denominator of they take place in this magical cafe where you can go and you can travel to the past as long as you follow some rules, some of them being first that no matter what you do in the past, you can change what the outcome is in the present. Second, you can only go to the past and talk with people that have already been to the cafe. And third, you need to come back to the present before your coffee gets cold, because otherwise you won't be able to come back and you'll be stuck in some kind of limbo. This book, it is quite short. My edition thinks it's around 207 pages. Each short story, at least in my edition, it's around 50 to 60 pages long. I like the short stories. I think they are just the right size for what they are. Their length is just so perfect for the story it is telling. Also the writing, it is beautiful, but it is still easy to understand. But one thing I think it's nice to say is that for going to this book, you need to be in the right mindset, because it is not necessarily the saddest book, but it is also not necessarily the happiest book. It deals a lot with topics of grief, different types of grief, so you need to be in the right mindset. The only reason why I still haven't finished this book is because I am on a short story that it is quite sad, and I just wanted something happier to read at the moment. But I want to binge read it and finish this book soon because it is really good. I am understanding the hype. Something really big needs to happen for me to dislike this book by this point. But overall, it is a really nice collection of short stories, a really nice book. I like the concept, I like the way it is being executed, but I will try to finish this book today because I have just over 60 pages to finish. I almost done with it. I finished reading Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and until now this year I haven't given half stars to books just because I thought it would be too confusing rating them with half stars. But reading this book, it made me realize that I do need to give half stars, because Before the Coffee Gets Cold, it didn't give me a 5-star feeling, but it is also not a 4 stars. It is more than a 4 stars. So I ended up giving it 4.75 stars. I just really like this book. It is really good. It really explores the different types of grief really well, the ones it explores, and it was a really surprisingly good book. One thing to say though, and I think this is one of the reasons why this book didn't give me 5-star feel, is that you need to be in the right mind space to read this book, because again, it deals with grief, different types of grief, and sometimes we are not in the mindset to read that, so it is good to have that in mind and make sure you are in the right place in order to read it. But overall, this is it for this video. So if you liked it, consider leaving a like, and also consider subscribing to the channel so you can get new videos about books or fashion in your inbox. Not your inbox, your subscription box. So yeah, this is it for this video. Bye!